Hi focus friends, in this video I'll share with you my personal reviews of 4 ADD medications and which ones I would choose for different types of jobs. Hey, it's Aron here on Hidden ADD, where you get the tools, insights, and science-backed strategies you need to live the life of your dreams if you have, or think you might have, hidden ADD. If you're new here, consider joining the exclusive 1K club of the channel's first 1,000 subscribers. If you're considering ADD medications, you're probably bewildered by the dizzying array of choices. You've got instant release, extended release, Adderall, Ritalin, brand name, generic. Is he done? I think he's done. In this video, I'll share my review of Adderall, Vyvanse, which is effectively extended release Adderall, Ritalin, and Concerta, which is effectively extended release Ritalin, the pros and cons of each, and which ones I think are best for different types of jobs. Okay, let's start with the bottom line up front. I will share with you for each of the 4 drugs what type of work, in my experience, they're best for and that I would use them for depending on the type of job I had. So let's start with Vyvanse. Vyvanse gets my award for best overall for a corporate management role. It provides all-day focus for meetings and socializing, as well as for manageable desk work. You can use a rescue dose of instant release Ritalin or Adderall if you have 1 or 2 focused desk sessions that you need to crank out. Okay, on to Adderall. In my experience, Adderall is best for the same types of things as Vyvanse, but if you want more flexibility and control, maybe you don't want or need 12 hours of consistent medication, and Adderall gives you that flexibility. Ritalin and Concerta get my nod for difficult, distasteful desk work. Ritalin specifically is best for maximum flexibility, so if you're toggling between difficult, distasteful desk work and meetings, Ritalin gives you the flexibility to toggle. Concerta, being the extended release, is best for all-day, difficult, distasteful desk work with very few meetings or interruptions. So that's my bottom line up front. Now I'm going to go through each of the drugs individually and give you my pros and cons based on how long the drug is active, the type of focus it produces in me, as well as the cost. And share your perspective in the comments below. Everybody has a different experience with these drugs, and it's great for the different viewers of this video to hear about other people's experiences. So let's start with Ritalin. So in terms of characteristics, Ritalin produces a very intense locked-in focus. It's the shortest acting in terms of time of all 4 drugs. For me, it only lasts around 3 hours, and it's super cheap. It's available as a generic. So pros and cons. For the intense focus, Ritalin is amazing for really distasteful, difficult desk work. It helps me lock in and resist the ongoing desire to bail from that type of work. However, with creative or enjoyable work, the intense focus becomes a negative. I get hyper-focused and stuck in perfectionistic minutia details like word choice and font size, and don't stay on track with my bigger picture vision. In terms of being short-acting, the pros are that you can take this the latest in the day of any of the other medications. The short-acting window also makes it great for toggling between periods of distasteful, difficult desk work and meetings which require, for me, less intense focus. The downside of it being so short acting is you'll definitely have more peaks and valleys throughout your day, and if you want all day medication, you must redose regularly. Ritalin is what I started my ADD medication journey on, and that was my go-to for years as a consultant. Why? I had a lot of difficult, distasteful desk work and a lot of meetings interspersed throughout the day. So now on to Concerta. It has that Ritalin-like intense focus. It's long-lasting. For me, it's around 8 hours. And on the cost side, it's still under patent, and so you have to pay high prescription drug costs. So for the Ritalin-like intense focus, I already covered the pros and cons in the last section. Those apply here. In terms of the long-lasting 8-hour window, the benefits are that you don't have to redose throughout the day, and you do have smoother, more consistent focus than with the the instant release Ritalin. The downside of the longer lasting is that you have more of a consistent dose throughout the day. For me, this didn't really help because I wanted an hour or two of intense focus for desk work, and then I wanted a lower level of intensity for meetings, socializing, and so I wanted more of a roller coaster, and for me, the long-lasting nature of Concerta didn't really give me what I need. Okay, on to Adderall. In terms of focus, it has a less locked-in focus feel than Ritalin. For me, it feels more like coffee with a little extra focus. It has a medium acting window. For me, it's around 5 to 6 hours. And in terms of cost, it's also generic, so a lot cheap. A lot cheap. Speak English, Aron. So it's relatively cheap. So in terms of focus with Adderall, the pro for me is that it doesn't put me into that hyper-focused, perfectionistic loop the way that the Ritalin type drugs do. The con is the flip side of that if I do need to do a lot of distasteful desk work versus more enjoyable, creative desk work, I don't have that same level of intense focus that keeps my butt in the chair. In terms of the 5 to 6 hour active window for me, the pros are that I can be more selective and targeted about when I need medication, and that I can also choose to say higher in the morning with just a little bit around lunchtime so that there are no negative sleep impacts. The downside of the medium active time is that you do need to redose if you want all-day coverage, and you will have more peaks or valleys with that. Finally, Vyvanse. In terms of focus, it's what I said about Adderall. In terms of time, it's the longest acting. For me, the effects last for easily 12 hours. And in terms of cost, it's only available under patent, so is an expensive prescription drug. So I already covered the pros and cons of the Adderall type of focus for me. In terms of the long-lasting nature of Vyvanse, the pros are that it's just set it and forget it all-day coverage. It's the closest experience to what I imagine it feels like to be neurotypical. And the other nice thing I liked about Vyvanse is that my psychiatrist would give me the option of doing a rescue dose, which would be a small dosage of either short-acting instant-release Ritalin or Adderall, depending on your preference. And that gave me the ability to ratchet up my focus for more intense desk work sessions if I needed it. And now on to the bonus. So I mentioned that Ritalin was my go-to in my consulting days. However, when I switched into my current corporate management role, I changed medications. There, I started using Vyvanse and found it to be much better for the type of work I was doing, which was a lot more meeting and interaction with others. And when I had to do desk work, it was more enjoyable, creative desk work than in my consulting days. However, in the pandemic, I've switched again. Now that I've been working from home every day, I've switched from Vyvanse to instant release Adderall. Working in the privacy of my home office makes redosing during the day simple, which lets me take advantage of the flexibility that instant release Adderall provides. This lets me minimize my medication usage by only using it in targeted spots when I know I need the extra boost. So that's it for this edition of Hidden ADD. Tell me in the community your experience with these drugs in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.